Welcome back to Dominant Mets Nation. Thank you so much for returning. I appreciate it so much. Today we got another exciting video about, we're going to talk about Carlos Mendoza. Some exciting things that I heard from that press conference. We're going to talk about what the payroll could be if we sign a Shohei Ohtani. Or we'll look at a couple examples about how high this Mets payroll could be for 2024. It's going to be exciting. Okay, but first, thank you. I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the comments, all the new subscribers. Welcome to the Dominant Mets Nation family. Anybody Mets fans, MLB fans, you're all welcome. If you could continue to like, subscribe, can't say thank you enough. I love making videos for you, bottom line. All right, so let's start off by talking about Carlos Mendoza. And I got to say, that press conference, to me, checked off all the boxes. It really did. Carlos Mendoza, and I got to say, this is probably one of the biggest reasons why Stearns kind of hired him, maybe as opposed to counsel, was because, bottom line, Mendoza is at this point a New York guy. He's been in the market the last 6 years. He was coaching across town in New York already for the New York Yankees, so his family probably didn't even have to move. So Carlos Mendoza knows what the media is looking for. He knows what the fans are looking for. He knows what to do and what to say. He said all the right things, talked about cultures, talked about accountability, talked about showing the fans that he wants to win. He just said all the things. I love the story about how when he found out he was getting hired, his son was happy, his wife was crying. He showed emotion. He showed leadership qualities, a guy a team wants to follow, right? But throughout this whole press conference, I'm like, okay, this guy's saying all the things I want to hear, but I'm hoping that once April, June, July, August, that time of the year occurs, I hope that this is translating into wins. I want to see results. That's all I kept thinking. I'm like, he sounds like a nice guy. He sounds like a communicator. He sounds like a guy that people would want to follow. I like the stuff when he was talking about Pete Alonso. He's already communicating with the leaders on this team. But I'm like, I got to see him win. I got to see him win. And that was the thing why I initially didn't like this hire. At this point, if you're spending close to $300 million or above, I wanted a guy who was proven. A guy who I knew. Sorry about that. A guy who I know could lead a team to victory, right? Does it sound like Carlos Mendoza could lead a team to victory? Yes, it does. So I give David Stearns, who was next to Carlos Mendoza in the press conference, smiling like a proud dad. I do like that. I could see what David Stearns saw in the guy. Everything Carlos Mendoza said was something that I would want to hear if I was David Stearns. Was something I would want to hear if I was a fan. He said and did all the right things during the press conference. A+ on the press conference. A+, right? But you don't win games in a press conference. You don't. I don't. At this point right now, it's a day past the press conference. I don't give a damn about the press conference right now. It is over. Yes, he called a lot of people. He thanked, a lot of people in the past. Willie Randolph was a guy who's associated with the Mets. We also, I know he talked about Luis Rojas in an interview, but there were names associated with the Mets that he did thank. But I need to see him win on the field. He has a relationship with Dusty Baker, which is good. So at least he's talking to people who know how to win. But I need to see him win on the field. All right, that's the bottom line. That's my opinion on Carlos Mendoza. Thumbs up on the press conference, but I need to see you do it on the field. Comment on that. Who liked the press conference? Who feels that Carlos Mendoza has what it takes to be a winning manager? Any other comments? Drop them below. Can't wait to read them. All right, number 2. Let's talk about if possibility we sign Shohei Ohtani. What could a payroll possibly be if we put a team together with the addition of Shohei Ohtani? Okay, so now to do that, we have to look at where our payroll currently lies. So depending on where you look, and depending on how arbitration, depending on who we cut, depending on some little minor moves, it looks like our payroll to start the offseason is going to be around $260 million. $260 million. Yes, they can make trades. Yes, they can make moves. But it looks like we have $260 million. And I was a little surprised that it was that high. I'm like, wow, how is it that high? I'm like, oh, we have Lindor. And I'm scratching my house. Who else do we have that's making a lot of money? Yes, Pete's going to be making around $20 million. Diaz around $20 million. Nimmo around $20 million. Marte around $20 million. Okay, that's a little over $100 million. But then when you look at the dead money, guys who aren't really going to be contributing to this team, you have Max Scherzer, we're going to be paying around $30 million. We all remember that. Justin Verlander, we're going to be paying $26 million. James McCann, we're going to be paying $8 million. So just when we get rid of the money of Robbie Cano, we take on another $70 million of dead contract. Welcome to the team who doesn't care what the payroll is. Okay, so we start the season, we start the offseason with $260 million right there. So there's a lot of money on the team that, I wish we can kind of get rid of, but we're stuck just for now. Okay, so let's imagine a world where we pay Shohei Ohtani a rumored $50 million. Right off the bat, that would take our payroll to $310 million. And you got to remember, we have 3 more rotation spots to fill. Shohei's not going to be available to pitch this year. So we need 3 starting pitchers. We need bullpen help. And we probably need 1 or 2 guys on the bench. All right. Okay. So let's say we get a Yamamoto because we're going to need a co-ace. All we really have is Kodai Senga and Quintana. So let's just say we give Yamamoto around $30 million. I project he's going to be making anywhere from $25 to $30 million a year. So that'll take our payroll up to $340 million. We have 2 more rotation spots to fill. Starting pitcher is kind of expensive, so a mid-level guy, let's just say we go after a mid-level guy, is going to cost anywhere from $15 to $20 million. So let's just say, Stevie wants to go $20 million each, so that goes from $360 to $380 million. You still need bullpen help. You still need maybe a bat or 2 off the bench. Maybe a Teoscar Hernandez. Maybe you want to sign a Jorge Soler. If you're gonna go for it and get Ohtani, you're gonna want to go for it, right? So you spend $20 mil on a Teoscar Hernandez, so that gets you up to $400 mil. Another maybe $15 million on the bullpen, you're up to $415 mil. So if you get a Shohei Ohtani, that means you're going all in for this year. That means, Steve Cohen's plan of, hey, we'll push it off in the next couple of years. No. If you sell Shohei Ohtani, you're telling him you're going to win right away. That means our payroll is going to be around $410 to $415 million, depending on if they unload any contracts, right? And, and that's what I think you have to do, because I'm thinking, what if you want to save $20 million and not get that extra bat? If you don't get that extra bat in your lineup, you're basically going to have, obviously you have Nimmo, but your 2 big boppers are going to be Pete and it's going to be Shohei, right? And I still think you need a little more extra juice, especially if you're going to be committing to this year. You don't know if the young kids like a Mauricio are going to turn into that extra bat that you need. And if you're going to commit to Shohei, I'm saying you commit to Shohei. So, all right, let's say you don't want a Teoscar, you don't want a Jorge Soler, although I think those 2 bats are, could be good fits. Let me look at the free agent list and see other guys. Cody Bellinger, we're not going to get. JD Martinez, I don't think we would invest in. JD's 36 years old. Matt Chapman, no. Maybe Lourdes Gurriel. So Lourdes Gurriel, Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, that's what I would be looking. Reese Hoskins. So, one of those guys, if we're going to go after Shohei Ohtani, I would like to sign a top-level bench guy, a top level, meaning a guy who could start on any other team. That's what a top-level bench guy. A guy who could play and fit on a starting roster on every other team. That is what a top-level bench guy is. And that's what you do. So, that's what you got to do. If you're going to get Shohei and you're going to go all in, you're telling me our roster is going to be at a payroll of over $400 million. Guaranteed. I don't know if the Mets would want to go that way, and that's why I'm saying Shohei Ohtani, although I want him, I don't think is going to be the move for the Mets this offseason because they royally screwed up to roster construction. The roster construction is not ideal right now. It is not ideal. It really is not ideal. And now I think we are not far off, but the way the money is really allocated, because we went for it a year or two ago. We signed a lot of mid guys who are around 32, 33, like Starling Marte, Eduardo Escobar, Mark Hanna. We gave these guys a lot of money, and we were essentially going for it. Not to mention the money that we gave to all the starting pitchers, Scherzer and Verlander, who are just sitting on our books right now. So we're not in the most ideal situation. So what I would do after thinking about this thoughtfully is I would try to clear the books. I would try to clear the books this year and make way for Juan Soto. If you want to get Yamamoto because he's a 24, 25-year-old pitcher, that's one thing. But what I would do is I would move heaven and earth to clear these damn books. Build around Lindor. If you want to keep Pete, and hopefully Pete's willing to take a reasonable contract, a Braves-like contract, that is who you build around. I'd be willing to trade a lot of our guys making money if they could somehow do anything with a Narvaez, get rid of him, Jeff McNeil. Starling Marte is going to be like near impossible to move. He's making $20 million. But what they have to do is find a way to clear the books. It's going to be tough because you have dead money on the books, but if you could clear the books incrementally so that by year 2 or year 3 of Soto, you are just looking at Soto, Alonso, and Lindor, that would be ideal. And I mean, it kind of looks like that's going to be the case anyway, but I just think that the payroll structure, the way we're situated right now is just a mess. It's just a mess. So if we get Ohtani, we're going to be well over 400. And if we don't, and we get a Yamamoto, and we kind of go toward it another way, I wouldn't be 100% opposed to that, because throwing all this money down the drain, I'm not so sure that's going to be the right way right now. All right, folks, if you got it to this far in the video, I got to give you a thumbs up. So please like and subscribe. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have yourself a great day. Let's go Mets. And I will speak to you soon.